In order to achieve the Icon Award, you got to be doing 25, 30 deals or $500,000 in income. It requires discipline, hard work, consistency, sacrifice, yes? And in 2024, the people who received the Icon Award, 20% of them did not receive the Icon Award in 2025. Because the flat line goes backwards. You continue to keep doing the same thing, as marketplaces change, you will go backwards. I thought that I was the man. God's gift to real estate, right? Interest rates started to go down. Demand flooded the marketplace. What do you think happened to my strategy of selling expired listings? It disappeared. Now, I'd love to be able to tell you that I responded to that very practically. That is not what I did. I threw an adult temper tantrum. Now, I first became aware of this law of business that functions like gravity about 5 years into my real estate career. I went from making $13,000 my first calendar year selling real estate to then doing 17 transactions, 50, 75, 89, 100. Do you know what was happening to the marketplace as that was happening? It started to get better because that year I did 100 deals, 75 were expired listings. Interest rates started to go down. The amount of inventory went down. I threw an adult temper tantrum. People in my life were saying, hey, you just got to make more contacts. That's all you got to do. Okay, you've heard that advice, have you? You have. I was taking 15 listings a month, 12 listings a month, 10 listings a month, 8 listings a month. It wasn't acceptable to me. And this guy proceeded to tell me, hey, yeah, you need to diversify your prospecting, young man. You need to change your strategy because the environment has what? Changed. I had another guide at the time, a coach, who said, hey, you should probably look into this probate thing. And I was like, well, I do live in heaven's waiting room. I'm in Florida. We have the largest elderly population in the country. I got into this mastermind group where they were teaching us about it. I got my hands on a course that could show me the ropes. And then I started to slowly but surely decrease the amount of time I was calling expireds, increase the amount of time I was calling probates. 4 years later, I was doing 200 transactions a year, 0 expireds, and 55% of my business was probate. Yeah, you can clap, it's pretty good. I know, the same way I know the sky is blue and the grass is green, that in any environment, there is always an opportunity. You're one relationship away from finding it, amen? 100%. The amount of progress that a man or woman experiences is directly correlated to the amount of truth that they can withstand. Isn't that interesting? You read that statement? That word withstand implies something. What does it imply? It's hard for me to stay in front of it. Why is it hard for me to stay in front of truth? Because I'm not as quick as I think I am, as cute as I think I am, as awesome as I think I am, as skilled as I think I am. Yes? Yes. So what is the environment that we're in? By a show of hands in your marketplace, is inventory going up? Raise your hands. Depending on where you're at, is primarily going up. What we're also seeing is what's happening to sales. Sales is staying the same, if not going down. We've had massive inflation over the last 6 years. All you got to do is go buy a piece of real estate, rent one, or go to the grocery store or go out to eat. We also have record numbers of student loan debt, record numbers of credit card debt, and record numbers of car loan debt. Something happened that hasn't happened in 100 years in this country. Our credit rating was lowered for the first time in 100 years as a country. How does that affect real estate? Like, why should I care about that? Well, how do you think we fund this glorious experiment called America? If you think it's taxes and taxes alone, I got some swamp land back in Florida that I can sell you. We fund this glorious experiment by doing what? Borrowing money. We issue bonds. Now, let's say mine and your credit rating goes down. What happens to the interest that I have to pay? It goes up. So what's happening to the interest that we have to pay when we borrow money? It's going up, which that affects the 10-year treasury note, which affects interest rates. Notice the energy in the room? Can't we talk about something else, Edwin? Can't you just yell at me and get me motivated? So what's the plan? Well, the first is I would propose in 2026 being listing focused. We're 40-60, that needs to switch to 60-40, okay? So all of the skills that you need to master to list property in high volume should be in focus. What are they? There's 7 of them. Setting appointments, pre-qualifying appointments. Are you having to pre-qualify a lot harder than you did previously? Oh yeah, that's a skill that got a little flabby and weak, didn't it? The listing presentation. Are you competing more often because there's less opportunities? And if you're going in and be like, oh my God, you have a puppy, I have a puppy, you should list with me, you're not going to get the listing. Handling objections, getting price reductions. Are you guys having to get a bunch of price reductions in order to move inventory in today's marketplace? Depending on your market and depending on where you're at, some markets are for sure. And then presenting offers, because offers may be coming in less than the asking price, and that's a skill. So let me ask you a question. From 2020 to 2022, how skillful did you have to be at negotiating? Notice how we don't want to talk about that? Because you know what you guys were doing? I got my client $50,000 above the asking price. You know what nobody's doing today? I had to lower it 5 times to sell it. Why? Because we want to take credit for one and not the other. You know what the truth is? You had nothing to do with either one. And if we want to increase our business, there's only 4 ways to do it. 1 is to increase leads. 2 is to increase conversion of those leads. 3 is ascension. You sell them a single family residential home and then you ascend them into a portfolio. 4 is retention. You keep them for longer. Now, I would propose when you go from 6.5 million to 3.89 million transactions, which is a 30-year low in transaction volume, the 2 that you should be focused on is leads and conversion. So what's the plan? What lead sources are working at a really high level right now? The first is past client centers of influence. The reason why you want to be focused on that is because there's no what? Referral fees. Anybody notice that like there's more third-party vendors that are pushing into our space because they know people are going on the internet and they want a piece of the pie? And you know what they're saying to you? Deal with it. I'm getting 40%, take it or leave it. Second thing that's working really well right now are niches. The riches are in the niches, okay? So I don't know if you guys know this, but we live in a world where we can make data-driven decisions around lead sources. And in the world that we're in, where 90% of people who have mortgages, somewhere around there roughly, have a mortgage less than 6%, and something like 60% have mortgages less than 4%, who's gonna sell right now? Only people that have to. My favorite, as I mentioned, because I live in heaven's waiting room, is probate. I did 60 to 70 of those deals every year consistently for 6 to 7 years in a row. And it has this massive demographic behind it. The third thing that's working is cash offer programs. So anybody notice that like Zillow, Redfin, HomeLight, they all have cash offer programs? They know it's a lead generator. They know only 3% of the time do people actually take their cash offer. You know what the other 97% are? Seller leads that they sell back to you for 40%. So wouldn't it make logical, practical sense for you to create a cash offer program for yourself? Yes or yes? Here's the new model that I'm seeing is working exceptionally well. And it's specifically built for this environment that we're in, which is where you take all of your leads, your probate leads, that niche, your past clients, your COI, and cash offers, you put them into a funnel. But then you need to become an assassin at conversion, asking a series of detailed questions to find out based on what the consumer wants. How many people besides me have ever gone on a listing presentation where they said, I don't care if you walk on water, Aaron, I'm not listing the property. I'm just gonna take a cash offer. Yes? And what do? We do our best to try to convince them to list it instead of just giving them what they want. Do you know the average rips on the creative deals are $30,000 to $50,000 a pop? And then the last strategy that I would propose or suggest that you need to deploy is to become the trusted local expert, because these big data, again, they're gonna beat us at that game all day long. You know what they can't beat us at? Relationships. Information is not that valuable anymore. Do you know right now, if you guys have chat, you could put anything in, you get information like that. Do you know what the currency of the future is gonna be? Trust. We don't trust anything right now, do we? You don't trust financial institutions, you don't trust governments, we don't even trust medical professionals. We're actually getting our guidance for our bodies from influencers who never went to medical school. So I'm actually not in the attraction business, guys. You know what business I'm in? The trust business.
There's fewer deals to go around. Commissions are getting compressed. What we found is sellers are looking for different solutions. So you want to not just try to force them into the standard MLS model. What I've done a little different than the average real estate agent is kind of come up with a hybrid model. So last year we did 85 retail transactions, 15 off-market wholesale assignments, 2.7 million last year with 4 salespeople. You don't need a huge organization to do these kinds of numbers.